Welcome to Enchanted Tarot. This is for the sign of Taurus for the month of April. It is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with each and every one of you. If this does not sound like your story, check your moon and your rising sign. Your messages could be there. This is a blind spot reading. So if this situation resonates with you, I encourage you to listen to the end, where I will help to guide you uh, to your blind spot and perhaps what you need to be looking at in order to resolve this one way or the other. So let's begin. Sitting central in your reading, you have the Nine of Swords with the Sun and the Three of Pentacles. Um, this is about something that eats away at you, and it could be even guilt. Um, the Sun brings peace, harmony, um, possibly to a family situation here, working together towards a common goal with somebody. But in this situation, there seems to be behind the scenes, the Nine of Swords lurks. Now, this could be worries and anxieties having to do with this situation of obtaining that peace and harmony, whether this is in a family situation or in your life in general. I feel that this is what you have decided to do, but there's something else that eats away at you with regards to this. You may be you and don't be offended, but you could be carrying guilt for something and maybe pretending to be happy here, pretending that you can do this, that this is what you want. But clearly, the Nine of Swords is lurking here, indicating that as much as on the surface it may appear this way, that that is not entirely true. I feel that you have feelings for someone outside of this relationship, but I feel that you've let this person go. There's a very deep connection of a soulmate that ended a relationship here. That maybe you had tried to transform, but you couldn't gain any ground there, or felt like you couldn't. There was some, and this truth or recognition um, would have hurt. It's like cutting a lifeline. Yeah, see, we have the devil here also. You, with this person, you just kept hitting brick walls, but yet you're so drawn to this person. I feel like you're trying to get them out of your blood by pretending to be happy when clearly you're not. Here we have you thinking, going over fond memories of this emperor person here that perhaps you have shut out, and you shut out because there was little hope here you felt. The emperor, this person has power over you, I feel, emotionally. There could have been, or you felt that there may have been consequences to this connection. I feel as though it was reopened because the Ace of Wands is here. So this can be a door that opens on the past, but there's risk involved, and we see that with the Fool, risk, consequences that you may not have foreseen. But perhaps because this is a wish, it overshadowed this for you. It was a direction. This is someone you have very deep feelings for. I see that there was a reunion with this person up here that may have left a very sour, bitter taste in your mouth here. You weren't sure that you, in fact, wanted to be in or continue this with this person, so you cut them out. But this would have been because of the way they were, I feel, and not necessarily a question of love, because clearly that's where your feelings are. But they would have been or could be overpowering, very severe, very controlling. So you cut them out, and this decision weighs very heavily on your mind. You see, we have the three coins here, and the coin on your head would represent the weight of the thought. So you have this idea that you're just going to move forward with your plan and try to make things work here, because maybe it offers you stability here. So you're navigating your way through this energy of, you see, we have the moon, which is navigational here, through a very murky territory of what the truth really is. But you're being stubborn here about this. You're going to, I think that you know the truth, but you kind of, push it down or push it away. You're insisting on moving forward with your plan. So you make the decision to cut out the other person or the lover, possibly here, because it is the lovers, which does represent a lover, and we have the devil. So I feel that you made a decision to cut this out, but it's still there. And we see the separation here, but you do miss this person. This is somebody who is lonely. You couldn't see a light at the end of the tunnel with that person. There were worries here. It's like, with regards to this person, it could be that there were like some type of a warning signal with the bells having to do with the hat. And a hat can speak to respect or lack of it. And I just noticed that this man is tipping his hat, and we have the hat here. It's the same exact hat. So there were a lot of worries surrounding this person, a warning bell that may have went off at this reunion that left a very sour, bitter taste. You you're looking, you're still looking, you're looking at the details of this ending. You're unhappy about this ending, but here you are in this Eight of Swords. You felt that this person was, because this is the executioner, and he had you blindfolded and tied up. So there's things that you felt that they were hiding from you, that kind of kept you in that Eight of Swords energy. So there were a lot of worries and anxieties again, that, and maybe this emotionally drained you. Maybe you were just unable to agree with this person. You weren't seeing eye to eye, or you didn't have the same thing in mind. And maybe something came to light at this reunion. You feel as though, because if I'm looking up at the Minchiate here, we have over here the magician on the handmaid of cups and faith. So you have uh, faith that you can move forward with this new idea that you have uh, to establish this peace and harmony and work together with your current partner. But there's deception involved because of the magician. And in the Minchiati, the magician is the trickster, sleight of hand, pulling something off. But you're determined to do it. You're determined to navigate your way through this energy. Um, and it's like the truth is clouded here um, by this. It's like it's murky. There's deception here. The spider and the sphinx. Uh, so the spider is about weaving a web to trap a prey, or it could be being very patient, or just a plan that you have weaved, which I see here. Um, but it's going to be challenging, or your abilities are going to be tested here within this plan that you've made or come up with or have decided to go with. Because as you're going forward with this plan, this past here is still weighing very heavily on your mind because it's what's above you. The breakup, the decision to break up, the choice. You're unhappy with how that meeting transformed. You still fantasize about this person. But again, there's a card of a disagreement or um, getting upset or angry over something, some type of truth here. There's some type of truth that came between you. You see, here's the choice to do something, but you may have felt as though you were, and even though they were very charming, they were feeding you a poisoned apple because something here came between you and created this huge crack here. And someone, actually both, seem to be upset here. So let's get to what you're not seeing about this. Let's get to your blind spot. This is your blind spot. It is bulldozing. If you've drawn this sigil, you are bulldozing a part of yourself in this situation. Consciousness itself functions like water. If you are looking at a river from above, you can see that a large river often branches off into smaller rivers. And each time this happens, there is less water available to the main river. Due to trauma, which occurs in all people's lives with no exception. The question is simply to what degree. Our consciousness splits just like a river does. It splits so that instead of whole, we are fragmented. It is easier to comprehend this process of splitting or fragmentation in terms of how it affects our being by imagining that when our consciousness splits as the result of trauma, our ego splits in two. And it can do this over and over again. This means that even though we have one body, within that body, we end up with multiple selves. The best way to picture this is to imagine that inside your body, you have a collection of Siamese twins. They are technically all conjoined because they all share one body. But each one of them has its own identity, its own desires, needs, perspective, strengths, weaknesses, and appearance. Some of these internal Siamese twins we like and identify with, while others we disidentify with, suppress, deny, and disown. So we have good reason for approving of parts of ourselves and rejecting others. But no matter how we spin it, it means that we are polarized. You have experienced this polarization anytime that you come to a place where you have to make a decision and part of you says yes, while another part of you says no. When we are faced with this situation, we usually begin to play a zero-sum game internally. We make a decision, so the part of us that says yes has won, and the part that says no loses. It is as if the part of us that is saying no to something is standing in front of the bulldozer being driven by our other part. And instead of creating resolution so that both parts feel in alignment with the choice being made, the one driving the bulldozer simply runs right over the other one protesting it. This creates an internal atmosphere of distrust. It is an antagonistic internal atmosphere. The Siamese twins that we tend to bulldoze the most are those that feel fear. We cannot bulldoze our fear without creating more fear. Instead, we need to take loving care of our fear. In this situation, you must consider that the part of you that is being bulldozed exists and is currently holding a very important personal truth that you need to look at instead of ignore or minimize. You have important feelings that need to be felt and needs that need to be met, but you are simply bulldozing forward with the idea that you shouldn't feel those things and shouldn't need those things. If you have drawn this sigil, you are bulldozing a part of yourself in this scenario. This is why you feel like you are moving forward and doing things in spite of yourself. You would be wise to understand that you cannot do this and feel good or manifest anything good at the same time. In this situation, you need to make sure that you move forward on decisions only after you have achieved a state of alignment between your internal Siamese twins. So, this is your blind spot. This is what you need to be looking at in order to resolve this situation. I hope that this blind spot reading has been helpful to you. I thank you for watching, for liking and sharing my videos, and for subscribing. Also, thank you to everyone who has donated to my channel. Many blessings to all of you.